So here we see that if you go to near complete depletion, it can take roughly 21 minutes to completely build back up.
Yeah, buddy. Lightweight, baby!
What's up, guys? I'm Josh and I lift things, and I'm here to talk about rest periods. Lifting 101. Too long didn't watch. Rest as long as you need to complete your next set. Simple as. So, rest periods. You may not think that there's much to them, and as a layman, you'd be pretty much right. But there's actually a shockingly high amount of research that's gone into them. This makes complete sense. They are one of the primary training variables that you can alter to create an exercise routine. For the few of you that have no idea what I'm talking about, let me explain what a rest period is. They are simply the time spent resting in between sets. So, if you do a set of bench, the time spent before your next set is your rest period. Quite literally, they are your period of rest. So why are they so important? Well, if you rest too little, you won't be able to complete the next set. Rest too long, and you're just wasting tons of time in the gym. And this begs the question, what is too little or too long? You may be thinking, well, why can't I just listen to my body to know when I'm ready? But you absolutely can do that. The issue is beginners are awful at auto-regulation. Pair that with anxiety in the gym or tons of other factors, and it's a recipe for disaster of just having too short of a rest period. Beginners like to rush. On the other hand, maybe they have extremely soft expectations of themselves. They really just don't understand how hard they should be working. Well, then they're going to end up spending half an hour between every single set. Someone who's more advanced could probably use intuitive rest periods, but if you were that advanced, you wouldn't be watching this video. So what is too little? Well, too little is going to be absolutely zero rest. If your goal in the gym is hypertrophy, then you have to come extremely close or to muscular failure. If you refuse to rest, you're going to be much more likely to be limited by lactic acid or the burning you feel in your muscles, mental fatigue, conditioning, or tons of other things. Sure, maybe you were gassed out and you couldn't continue, but that's not because you were at muscular failure, it's because every other system in your body reached failure first. To explain this a bit more, your body uses a hormone known as adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. It uses ATP to give your body energy. This is actually the main way that creatine supplementation works, and you can watch my video on that to learn more. Anyways, the body has 3 different mechanisms of which it can create ATP. And when you do a hard set or an exercise, your body uses the ATP to form muscular contractions, and eventually you will run out. It then takes a little bit of time to actually build your stores back up. How long specifically? Well, it's more complex than you may think. From this amazing study that will be linked in the description, interaction among skeletal muscle metabolic energy systems during intense exercise. Here we have a graph with the y-axis being the creatine phosphate being built back up in nanomoles per kilogram. And on the x-axis here we have time. So if exercise extends out to here, the further you decline in your creatine stores, the longer it obviously takes to build back up. So here we see that if you go to near complete depletion of ATP or creatine phosphate, it can take roughly 21 minutes to completely build back up your energy stores. The slow twitch muscles are quite a bit faster, but if you were doing, say, a minute rest after going very much near muscular failure, look how much you have now built back up. Not dick. Basically, it's hard to say. But we do know that the more that you train closer to failure, the longer you'll have to take to recover. The same is true for strength training as well, not just hypertrophy. If your phosphagen system, or why creatine would be beneficial in the production of ATP, is what's primarily pushing your 1 rep maxes, then having sufficient rest is going to be paramount. If you're very depleted after a very heavy compound movement, try to take at least 3 to 5 minutes, preferably 5+, to let your body build back up its energy stores. Even then, you're still not going to be back at baseline. For a less intensive movement, like maybe your arm isolations, like curls or pushdowns, you could probably rest as little as 1 minute if you wanted to and be close to fighting shape. But again, it won't be perfect. So, what is too long? Well, it's kind of up for you to decide. Theoretically, you could wait 20 minutes in between every single set to make sure that your energy stores are completely brought back up. But in doing so, if you were doing, say, 5 sets of squat that day, you're going to be spending 1 hour alone just on resting in between one movement, let alone the time it takes to actually complete the squats or any other exercises you want to perform. If you want to spend 3 hours in the gym, go for it. There is some research showing that that's probably not that great anyways, but I think most of us are trying to find some sort of happy compromise. Now, there is something to be said for cutting your rest periods down as low as you can. 1, you get out of the gym quicker, as already noted. 2, you start to train whole other energy systems when you do this. Your conditioning will improve, your lactic acid threshold will go up, your ability to handle fatigue will go up, your work capacity will be higher. Basically, just good GPP, or general physical preparedness. There are some arguments floating floating around that more growth hormone is released when you do sets with lower rest periods, but the evidence on that is very sparse, and even if it does transiently increase GH, it won't be a prolonged thing whatsoever. On the other hand, there's very good studies showing that longer rest periods will increase muscle growth. Like here we have a study, longer interset rest periods enhance muscle strength and hypertrophy in resistance trained men by Brad Schoenfeld, the GOAT. Here you see testing was performed pre-study and post-study for muscle strength, 1 rep max bench and back squat, muscle endurance, 50% 1 rep max bench press to failure, and muscle thickness of the elbow flexors, triceps, and quadriceps femoris by ultrasound imaging. Maximal strength was significantly greater for both 1 rep max squat and bench press for long compared to short. This makes sense. Muscle thickness was significantly greater for long compared to short in the anterior thigh, and a trend for greater increases was noted in the triceps. Both groups saw significant increases in local upper body muscle endurance, with no significant differences noted between groups. So it's hard to say. Maybe there's some argument that some muscles that weren't just studied in that study by Schoenfeld react better to lower rest periods. Maybe some react better to longer rest periods. It's kind of up in the air, and we don't necessarily have a great answer. My recommendations are typically this. For your main compound movements, rest about 5 minutes in between each set. Maybe even longer if you have the time. Maybe when you know how to listen to your body a little bit more, you can cut that time down. This will ensure that most of your phosphagen system is built back up, and this also gives you some good time to maybe do some interset stretching, maybe drink some water, fight your demons, write down notes in your exercise journal, yada yada yada. For less serious movements that you would still like to focus on, I recommend about the 3-minute mark. This is for all your other compounds that aren't like the big 3. And finally, for your isolation lifts or vanity lifts, try to rest as little as you think you need to while still getting enough energy to be able to complete your next set. Maybe for you that's 30 seconds, or maybe for someone else it's 2 minutes. Remember that rest periods are just another training variable that you can alter. When people talk about progressive overload, they often just think, just weight or just reps. But you could also progress by doing the same weight but less rest. Once you've been training long enough, you should be able to listen to yourself to figure out how much time you need to spend in between sets in order to build up enough energy, and while making sure you don't spend all day in the gym. And guys, that's the video. If you like this video, make sure you click the like and the subscribe button. I post new videos every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Am I an idiot? Did I forget something? Leave me a comment down below to let me know. I respond to every single one of them, and it really helps out the channel. If you like this style of content, you can follow all these socials and join my Discord. The links are in the description. I post exercise content twice a day, every single day. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.